What's up, guys and girls? This is Timmy and welcome to Oxygen Not Included. So today I'm going to kick off a sort of mini first impression series and we're going to have a look at this game because I've seen a couple of YouTubers play it, namely Blitz and Avac, and this is a very interesting concept. It's basically built by the same guys that built Don't Starve, and if I was more prepared I'd know the name of those people are. But basically it has a very similar art style, as you can tell from here, and a kind of quirky sense of humour like Don't Starve does, but this has more of a RimWorld / Terraria sort of colony builder type feel to it, but it has a very specific kind of nuance to it, shall we say, which is all based around fluid and gas dynamics, which I guess fluid dynamics covers probably gas dynamics, which we'll get into more as we dive into the game. So I think I'm going to just dive straight in and we'll explain the concepts as we go. So the first thing you need to do is actually select ourselves a group of colonists to start the game with. So as with RimWorld, we get to choose our starting colonists, and they are they're called, what are they called, duplicates, I think they're called. I think basically they're kind of clones, because when we get into the game you actually have a 3D printer which produces new people for you. People have traits and skills that we can, well, some of them are useful and some of them are terrible. So quick learner but a small bladder, yet there is full bodily functions in this game. Well, I say full, people poop. I know bodies do more than just poop, but they've gone to that effort at least. So we can shuffle these, so let's have a quick look at what we want. Who is this? Maya? Oh my god, we're going to have to change that name. She's pretty good at athletics. Now, athletics is important because in the early stage of the game, that's how you generate electricity. Quick learner, small bladder. I'm going to actually change her because I don't want too many small bladders, because until you get toilets going, it can make problems from what I've seen. But I would like someone who can technically do athletics. Okay, digging. Mole hand, so that's a digging trait, and bottomless stomach. He needs to eat more. I'm gonna let's keep shuffling. I can shuffle forever. I tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna -5 athletics. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna pick some suitable people, and then I'll explain my reasons once I have them. Okie dokie. So I think I have my 3 colonists. I'm not sure, I might be causing myself massive issues with the people I've chosen here, but we're going to go over it anyway. So we have Madison, who is our mega athlete, and also mega construction. I feel like I got really lucky with those points there. Twinkle Toes, which means a little bit faster, +7 athletics. I guess that's where they're getting that from. Or good in movement speed. Biohazard, which means that unfortunately Madison's going to get sick a lot, but yeah, who cares. Then we have OG, who is a bit of an all-rounder, good creativity, really good creativity, but in general, trying to pick up the slack of the other 2, who are a bit more specialists. Then we have Budney, who is a +7 digger, night owl. Unfortunately, he's going to be chewing food a lot, and the OG is going to be falling asleep a lot, but I think that's a pretty good starter. My colony is Wanderosa. That is my new name for my colony. Yeah, so you may notice the names are names of people who are very regular commenters and sort of get interaction on the channel, so hence why they are. And other people may get named as we get more colonists, but for now, let's dive in and let's see what this awesome game is all about. Alert! Your crew has awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got here. It might be best to start digging. So basically, I think the principle of this is you're actually on an asteroid of some sort. How you've ended up here, obviously you don't know. What this like printer thing is, we don't know. Does it say it's a printing pod? Yeah. So this is actually what makes people. So I think these don't realise that they're actually clones. They're not real people. And the reason they have no recollection of how they got here is because they didn't exist until this thing spat them out a few moments ago. So that's good. You look here, next duplicate in 1500 seconds. I think it's pretty much daily we get that. So let's have a quick look around and I'll try and explain a few little bits. But I'm not going to go too much into depth right now because there are quite a lot of complexities to this game. And obviously we'll explain a lot as we go along. So let's start up here. This is your clock. It's done in cycles. I guess it's like a day of the meteorite or comet or whatever it is we're on. But yeah, so we're just at the beginning, and every day they will sleep, and there is a night cycle and all that kind of stuff. Obviously speed controls. We have number of populations, only 3 at the moment. Stress level, which I think is quite important because think the more stress they get, the less work they do and things like that. So we've got to keep an eye on that. How much food we've got, obviously very important. If we run out of food, people are going to, going to start dying. As is traditional with human beings. Toggle red alert. Duplicates will enter a state of emergency. Ignore their basic needs to work. Okay, what will they do then? Will they just run around in a panic? Because that doesn't feel like a useful setting. Up here is all the overlay. So this will look, as you can see, this is very familiar to Rimworld. This is where you can just basically set what you want your various people to do. And the pink ones are the ones which are like, I'm really good at this. What's this? What's this one do at the end? Don't know. Oh, that just like don't do anything. Anyway, vital, so this gives me a bit of an idea of my colonists' happiness, wellness, and all that kind of stuff. Reports, that's my daily sort of usage and things like that. I'll come to that at a later date. And then you have the research tree here, which I can't get to at the moment because I haven't got a research station, which makes sense. Then you also have all these overlays and things like this. Now, the main content of this game, so you'll see there's all these different caverns around me here, and it's all very much based around gases and kind of liquids. So in the one I'm in right now, you'll see that I can go over any of these blocks and it'll tell me what it is. Now it's oxygen at 1,460 grams of breathable oxygen. If I put this on, you'll see I've got the grading here. So this is very breathable because they have literally yet to take a breath. They haven't started contaminating this, so that is good. Here we have slightly lower concentration of oxygen, I think, but still breathable. This is breathable. This is actually a really good start for me. I loaded it up just to play around the controls a little bit, and I had this oxygen and then a tiny sliver of oxygen here, and that was it, whereas this one's got loads of it. Now this one here, this is going to be carbon dioxide, so obviously they can't breathe this. So when I dig into that, carbon dioxide is going to flood into the base and cause issues. This one here, I think, is a vacuum, although I think I'm maybe too far away to see it. Oh no, it's just because it's a vacuum, so there's nothing to look at because there's nothing in there. More oxygen. This is all really, really good. That looks like maybe contaminated water down there. Vacuum. Yeah, I've lucked out here with the oxygen side of things. So in this game you have to think very much about how the gases and liquids sort of interact with each other, and one particular thing in this is that the carbon dioxide is heavier than the oxygen, and so will sink to the bottom, and that is kind of what I'm going to be using as my premise for my design for my base that I have come up with, but we'll come into that in a minute. Power, obviously I don't have any power systems right now. Temperature, I'm not really sure. I'm assuming they get pissed off if they get too cold. Lights, liquid plumbing, I don't have any liquid. You can pump water and do all kinds of funky stuff with that, but I'm obviously nowhere near that yet. Gas, plumbing, decor, so not too unhappy in there. They like what it looks like in there. And priorities, which I'll come to later. So down here I have all my controls, all the various things I can do, and we should probably start straight away. Now all of these different materials are varying different things. So for example, this is just sandstone, this is cultivatable soil, which is useful for growing. This here is algae, right? If you've watched Blitz play this, he calls it LJ, which I'll take the dialogue argument which he made about it, but I've never heard anyone call it LJ. It's either algae, or algae, which for me it's going to be algae. I don't know if it's right, but anyway, algae. This is very important. This is used to put into machines to convert to oxygen, and so that is kind of that's stage 2 oxygen generation. This stuff here is oxalite, which basically just produces oxygen on its own. This is just stage 1. This is what's going to sustain us until we can get our own oxygen systems up and running. This will fuel our second stage oxygen, and then eventually you can get to more self-sustaining oxygen systems. So I'm going to set these guys to dig, and then I'm going to explain what I want them to be, what we're actually going to be doing. It's kind of annoying for my plan that all this water is down here, but I can live with it to a certain degree. We want to be capturing this oxygen here as fast as we can. We're going to end up down in here. Okay, right, so I'm just trying to think ahead. So for now we're just going to do this, and then I want to put in a ladder, which, how do I put in ladders? There's a ladder. There are not enough materials. Okay, well, let's just let them crack on and do this. So basically, what I'm thinking is, given what I was saying earlier about the carbon dioxide sinking to the bottom, is I would kind of like to make almost like an upside down kind of pyramid base. I can dig all of this out and then put in floors and make my own structures in here. So I don't have to live in these caverns that they produced. Right, okay, freaking assholes ringing me on the phone. So, here we are. Right, so they're digging it out, and I needed a little bit of their sandstone, I think, to make this ladder, which I believe I now have in. Yeah, so, there was also this a fairly kind of basically set up. They don't have... yeah, I do. It's not like where you have, like, in other games, sandstone and limestone and blah 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 stone and all that kind of different stones, and then you need to have a specific type of stone to make a specific thing. You basically just seem to have sort of minerals in the sense of stone and things like that, and then you have metals, let's see, like copper ore here, things like that, and most of it seems to be fairly interchangeable, which is quite nice. It just simplifies matters. We can put some flooring in here, which we should do. Actually, I'm not going to put the flooring in just yet, just because I want to, as I say, coming back to, sorry, I've fucking douchebags on the phone for 20 minutes, I forgot everything I said, but basically my plan for my base, if I haven't already said it, is to have like an upside down pyramid. So I actually want to end up with sort of sloping floors on both sides. Not massively, probably. I'm thinking I'm going to do like 5 and then a step up, and then 5 and then a step up, and 5 step up. And as we go up the levels, it get bigger and bigger. And the reason for that is you can make things which convert the carbon dioxide into oxygen. And with the carbon dioxide being heavier, if I have a central shaft, all of the carbon dioxide and nasty gases that are heavier than the oxygen should sort of drift down to the middle, down the shaft, and then we'll have a big reservoir at the bottom that will capture all the nasty gases, and we'll have machines in there to convert it back to oxygen. And then I believe this is the later stage, and it's going to be a while till I get here, I can then actually have machines which will pump the oxygen back up to the top of the system. I'll have, and then we'll have sort of healthy stuff at the top. Well, healthy stuff, that's probably not the right term, but you know, things like beds and stuff like that, where the people have to spend a lot of time at the top, and then right at the bottom we'll have all of the awful, horrible, nasty stuff, so that all the nasty gases make a quicker route down to the bottom. The other thing we're going to have somewhere is a water reservoir. You can see these is liquid water here, there's a little bit here and here, a bit in here as well we can get to. That'll be our first sort of source to keep us going for a little bit, and again we can pump all that, and we'll make a big reservoir somewhere to keep that. We'll need a few water filtration and all that good stuff at some point. So, OG is digging in a ladder, or building and digging quite nicely. He's going to get that algae. We should probably, let's just get ourselves a storage compactor, which is just like a storage pot, just so we can store the valuables in it. I'm not going to bother cleaning up too much right now. Where are we on? We are... Does that little sliver move round, or is that me? We've just got like a sliver of a day left. I have no idea. Okie doke. Cool. Dig, dig, dig. Go on, Madison, make some work. Right, so... I mean, if we aim for our reservoir being, our sort of bottom reservoir being around in this zone, and that gives us sort of everything from these water containers down, up, sorry, to build. So if we have this as our first level... I feel like I should mine out into here. Let's mine. There's a nice, decent oxygen supply up there. Is this vacuum in here? That's carbon dioxide. Okay. Shit. I just noticed. We just cracked into that carbon dioxide, which I shouldn't do, because I mean it's fine actually. And this is what I like about this game, is the way that it's got this fluid dynamics that you have to manage. I think. Someone will no doubt correct me, but I think even with gases, fluid dynamics is still the correct term, because in the context, kind of gases do have sort of certain similarities with how fluids react. But yeah, because of this little lip, actually, most of the carbon dioxide will stay trapped in here, but I do want that bit of algae there, so yeah. Not that bottom one. How do I cancel stuff? Cancel. C. Okay. We're just going to block that off because I don't want that flooding into my base just yet. Is this oxygen? No, that's vacuum. Vacuum. Obviously, if I dig into a vacuum, it's going to suck all of the gases out, which can be quite useful. So, for example, this vacuum here, what I will probably do fairly soon is build a temporary depository. So I'll extend this ladder down and have like a shaft into here, and then all of my crappy... my living quarters up here will be the oxygen, and all the crappy carbon dioxide and everything will flood downwards and get sucked into the vacuum. That is my plan, because you'll start to see You see they are obviously producing carbon dioxide themselves, but over time it will start to settle in the lower areas. Why is there a vacuum in the bottom of there? That's quite interesting. Right, let's go. Actually, I don't want to. Can I cancel a few of those? I don't want to breach into that. I love the little sounds it makes when it goes. Okay, right, guys, I've finished digging that. I really want to get into this area here, but I cannot dig into that carbon dioxide. That will lead to bad times for my colonists. There's a nice chunk of algae here. You know what, let's just keep you guys digging for now. Actually, toilet. That's in the game, not in real life. I don't need the toilet. Well, maybe I do need. That's not relevant. We don't need to talk about my toilet needs. Anyway, we need to put in a toilet though. Now, the reason we need to put in a toilet is because things get pretty bad if I do not. In the sense that, basically, if eventually they're going to need to go for a poop. Let's not beat around the blood. They're at 34% bladder, or OGs at 34% bladder. I assume they're all pretty similar. Yeah. Once that gets to 100% and they poop themselves, that makes a mess, and that can have some pretty dire consequences because it literally spreads out. It produces sort of noxious gases. It will spread out, and if those things reach my water supply, for example, it will contaminate my water supply. Which means that I can't use it for a while. I mean, you could drink it, but as we all know, drinking water with poop in it generally doesn't go well. So we just need to be a little bit careful of that. Do I need to dig that? Do I need to dig that out, or do I just need to remove it? How do I get rid of deconstruct? So, deconstruct that. Okay, right. So we can set this up. We're going to put everything in there now. This is our little food container, by the way. It got our sort of starting food. We're still on 20,000 calories, so they haven't eaten. They generally will eat about, I think they have about 1,000 calories a day, maybe. So the 20,000 will last a few days with these three. Ooh, someone got a skill increase. Nice. Right, so we need to decide where I'm going to put this shaft, and I think it's going to go straight here. I think this here is going to end up being the shaft. So what I'll do, just to mark that. I'd like to see, here's the thing. I know they can jump over a 1 wide gap. I would like the shaft to be a 2 wide gap, just to facilitate the flow of carbon dioxide down it. But I don't think they can jump over a 2 wide shaft. So, bearing that in mind, I'm just going to do this. I'll just do that. And then that will form the thing. What I was thinking... Oh, no, actually, no. I was thinking about this last night. That's just how sad I was. I actually laid awake in bed thinking about fluid mechanics in this game. What I think I should actually do is... this. That. Yeah. Create sort of gravity wells, whatever you call them, like wells like this. So each layer will have one of these in the middle of it. It will just hopefully encourage the sort of gases to fall down into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That should be equal, and then maybe I'll go more. I said 5, but maybe I should go a little bit higher than 5. And then basically we'll have another step up here. And the idea being, as I say, it will just stop. What you don't want is sort of low zones where the carbon dioxide can just sort of, you know, gather and not escape. So I want to keep it flowing downhill. If that makes sense. It makes sense to me. Hopefully you understand what I'm getting at there. Okay. He's got a bit of a sad face, or maybe that's just concentration face. So we need to figure out toilets. Now, I think I'm just going to... I may have to just put in a temporary toilet for now. My concern... The hesitation I have right now is... I just thought I need to mine that out, don't I? Yeah, my concern is this water here, which is going to be my kind of primary water at the moment. Alien dude. What's that? Chlorine gas. Come here, you. He's a morb. Slightly toxic, and he breathes contaminated oxygen. Chlorine. Well, he's a hardy fellow, isn't he? What's this? Chlorine. I don't know what chlorine does, but I'm guessing it's not good. As far as I'm aware, People don't eat chlorine. I could put a ladder straight through the middle of this shaft as well, which I may end up doing because I don't think the ladders affect the resources in that regard. Right, so I think power, where is pooping? Plumbing, maybe? Yeah, outhouse. So we are going to put one of these in. I didn't really want it this high up. I kind of want the toilets to be like a level or two down, but until we get our water situation, I need to... This is one of the things with these kind of games, is I need to be, you know... I can't get too carried away with the amazing things that the future holds for me. I need to focus on what today needs, not just what the future holds. Okay, so that's that. Right, so think about the basics, Timmy. What do we need? We need food, and we need water. Yeah, I think that's about everything. Power generation. I think we'll probably put the first power generator... Oh, we need beds, actually. Where are we? Ooh, we're getting close to the end of the day, so we do need to think about beds. Do we have utilities? No. Plumbing, refinement, medicines, furniture. It's got to be furniture. Cot. Massage table. We could just plonk down three cots for now. Kind of want to put the cots up here. Just because they'll be a little bit more out of the way. We haven't even started mining. You know, I'm gonna mine out this algae here, and then maybe, just maybe, you know, speed up time, let them crack on. Fast speed. Oh, I like that. little clinky sounds. Oh, someone pooped. Well done, I got it ready just in time. Oh, someone's hungry. 1,000 calorie ration. Wait, why did that not go down? You're not eating it yet. Good hell, Budney. He's taking the chew your food mantra well. Okay, these guys are almost done over here. I don't want to. I kind of do want to get rid of all this. They both just collapsed. One of them is a narcoleptic, so they will just sleep randomly. And then we should, in theory at least, get a little report now as to how we have done on our first day. And I think I'm going to wrap the episode up here. Normally I'll try and do more than one day in an episode, but this kind of, you know, with the introduction and stuff like that, I kind of ran over a little bit. We woke up. Right, let me pause and reports. So I said I'd have a look at this to do. So let's look at day one. That's a complete day. So what we've got here is how much we've produced of stuff, how much we've removed of stuff, and where that has left us. So we didn't produce any oxygen. Now that's not strictly true because we have this stuff here, this oxalite. Now this is a natural solid state of oxygen, and once exposed it will gradually release its oxygen. But you can see already I've lost one of the blocks out of there, and this will eventually completely disappear. We've got a couple of blocks down here which again are producing stuff, but again it's only a very temporary, and I don't think that counts as part of generation. So hence why I say we didn't produce any. Powerfully, we're not at the power level. We're not, so we haven't got anything for that. Calories, we are not producing any food right now, which is concerning, but we have a little bit of backup, so that's not too much of a problem. Stress issues, yeah, that's fine. I don't know what really travel time is. I guess that's just how far and wide they're walking or how long it takes them to get about. Skill increase and exercise. So, oxygen, produced none and used or removed 129 kilos. So, we have a net of minus 129. Now, that becomes an issue because you obviously have a finite amount of oxygen, and if this is always negative, eventually your people are going to die of not starvation. What's the asphyxiation is the word for no oxygen, isn't it? So that is not ideal. We're still obviously not producing anything right now, so we are going to have to get to that on the next day. And calories, again, we're not producing any food. We've used 2,684, so we are dropping down that. And our stress levels are everyone's at 0 now. I'm guessing as they go through the day, they get more stress, and then sleeping probably reduces that. I was decreased by 19%. Oh, they're even happier. Who knows? Who knows what that's all about? But yeah, so we are going to have to get on. I think next episode we are going to be cracking on. We're trying to get some power going so we can get our first oxygen generator. And I would like to get that up here so that then it sort of feeds down through the base. But that's going to do it. So I am going to be recording a batch of these together as a little bit of a first impressions mini-series, as I've done with some of my other stuff recently. And then I will put it out there and see what you guys think. But I really kind of hope that you do enjoy this game, because I really am quite interested and excited about this. So I really want to play a fair bit of it. So please give me feedback, give me comments. Just bear in mind that, as I say, by the time you see this, I will have recorded a few episodes. So if I don't instantly respond to you in the videos themselves, I do apologize, but that's for the reason. So that is going to do it. My name is Timmy. This has been Oxygen Not Included. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope very much you'll check back for the next one.